I think we're ready. Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining. This is Afnan El from the marketing team here at Trend Micro. Let me quickly walk you through some of the housekeeping stuff. So in your Zoom window, you will see like a chat box where you can leave a message to our team for any notes or comments that you would like us to hear. And there is a Q&A widget. We would love to hear your questions, so please use that to post your questions on it, not on the chat box because it can get lost in a lot of messages. So in the Q&A, when you have a question, please put it there, and once we answer that, everyone will be able to see your questions and our answer on it. And we will be sharing today's session is recorded, and we're going to share the recording and slide within 24 hours, right? So let me walk you through our experts for today. So we have got Halo, Principal Program Manager at Microsoft, and Chris Jones, Leader of Cybersecurity and AI Business Development at NVIDIA, and Fernando Cardoso, Vice President of Product Management at Trem Micro. For the agenda for today, I'm sure that having these incredible experts, I can assure you that today's webinar is going to be packed with diverse insights and perspectives on the topic of AI and cybersecurity. So we will kick things off with Howell, who will be talking about how Microsoft is enabling AI for the future. Then we are going to dive into the power of NVIDIA's AI with Chris Jones. And finally, Fernando will share more about the crucial security aspects of AI-powered innovation. We will be also saving some time at the end for the Q&A session, so feel free to jot down your questions as we go. All right. So, hello. I will give the screen to you. Over to you, right?
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and greetings from Seattle. My name is Hal, and I work in Microsoft's Azure Engineering Division. Thank you for the time today to allow for me to talk about Microsoft's role in helping drive AI transformation for the future. If we take a step back, just a few years ago, I still remember that when COVID first started, while working in my basement during quarantine, our engineering teams have been working to help customer leverage things like computer vision and AI cameras to build solutions that would help, for example, detect if someone's wearing a facial mask or not. At the same time, lots of organizations were just getting started to learn about how to use bots to interact with their employees, with the citizens, with the customers. And gone are those days. A little bit over 2 years ago, the launch of ChatGPT shocked the world, and everyone started investing in AI solutions. So now fast forward to 2025, we're seeing organizations transitioning to a more strategic AI approach, and all organizations are accelerating their investments towards AI. It is real. And the aim for these investments is obviously to take advantage of these AI breakthroughs, driving automation through better model, better data reuse, more efficient inferencing from network to the edge. And you can see that the return on investment is improving, with research showing that for every single dollar that a company invests into Gen AI, the ROI is actually close to 4 times across industries and similar across various regions. Now, at Microsoft, we do believe that AI is a powerful tool to drive business value. To ensure that your AI investment is truly impactful, we do recommend evaluating your AI project using these key pillars. First, it's really about enriching the employee experience. Is your AI strategy making your people more productive? Are they more engaged? Can AI help create a more dynamic and fulfilling work environment, making your company more competitive in the talent market? Secondly, consider how you're reinventing your customer engagement through AI. Are you able to connect with more customers through better personalization? Can AI allow for you to offer tailored product services to the masses? Third, think about reshaping your business processes with AI. Traditional business processes were basically built based on human workload. So how can you reimagine these processes with an AI-first approach? Lastly, ask yourself if you're really driving true innovation and leading the pack. Are you using AI to develop products faster and bring them to market more efficiently? Can AI help you stay ahead of the competition? So with that, I'd like to share the capabilities that Microsoft had built to approach this AI transformation. Now, you've probably heard and seen the name Copilot in many Microsoft products and services. Microsoft's vision for Copilot is to enable business users to be more productive by integrating AI into their daily workflow. AI agent called Copilot is now part of many, many different Microsoft services, such as Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and then for developers, you have GitHub. Yesterday, we actually announced the general availability of Copilot for Azure, which means that you can go into the Azure portal and then use Copilot to help you figure out how to use the portal. I can't imagine doing work without Copilot nowadays. Before each meeting, our Teams Copilot actually provides me with a quick summary of the purpose of the meetings, the pre-reads, and after the meeting, it actually automatically gives me the meeting minutes without anyone having to take notes. In Azure Engineering, we've also built our own Copilot as part of our engineering AI ops. This allows for engineers to quickly identify issues when they happen. It also drives automated triaging, outage declaration, and communication to the impacted internal and external parties, leveraging LLM to help drive communication to all impacted parties and allowing for them to quickly catch up to where we are with mitigation. We believe that every employee will have a Copilot that knows them, that know how to kind of work with them. And also we see a world where every business process can also become an AI-powered process with agents. Now, a lot of organizations are thinking about how they build more advanced AI solutions that extends beyond the capabilities of Copilot. So Azure AI Foundry is built for data scientists and AI machine learning engineers who prefers using a pro code development environment to build AI models and AI agents. AI Foundry provides a single place for you to access all these wonderful, innovative Azure AI capabilities, while also providing governance, monitoring, and control over the development and operations of your AI solution. As a matter of fact, all the Microsoft AI Copilot capabilities are built using the features that are available in Azure AI Foundry. Now let's look at what makes AI Foundry unique. First, Azure AI Foundry offers a huge catalog of AI models to meet the different needs of different use cases. I counted yesterday 1,900, so you're not hearing me wrong, 1900 models to choose from. So from generative AI models like GPT-4, Llama 3, or even DeepSeek, to specialized models from partners like NTT Data. These are all available as part of that 1900, and it continues to grow. And one quick call out that you can see on the screen here, these are the NVIDIA inferencing microservices, or NIM, as what they call it. These models are designed for secure, reliable, and high-performance AI inferencing running on top of Kubernetes services for popular models like Llama 3, Mistral. I'm sure you're going to hear more about NIM later. Now, this extensive selection of AI models allow for you to find the best model for your specific use case. Different modalities such as text generation, image recognition, or some of the industry-specific tasks are all available at your disposal. On top of that, there is this concept of model as a service, which is central to Azure AI Foundry. And you can access and deploy these models without the need for setting up infrastructure. So it makes it a lot easier for AI developers to accelerate their AI development. It also ensures that they can actually keep up with the latest development, because we know that there's going to be new models coming out every single day. Next step, once you have selected the right model for your application, equally important is you need to deliver relevancy and meaningful results. Azure AI Foundry offers several tools and techniques to help you enhance these model performance. One such technique is the use of RAG, or what we call retrieval augmented generation. It combines the power of retrieval systems with generative AI model to provide more contextually relevant responses. It can query up-to-date information from your enterprise data sources and feed the large language model as grounding data. RAG ensures that your applications are grounded in the latest data and that are relevant to the users of these AI agents. It is very important that Azure AI Search is part of that foundation that makes up RAG, and it has all the elements for you to utilize to incorporate into your RAG design. Other techniques such as fine-tuning models are also available in AI Foundry to adapt these pre-trained model to your unique requirements. Moving on, I believe everyone's excited about agentic AI, where AI agents can be autonomous. They can plan, they can reason over data, and then they can execute based on feedbacks. Unlike traditional chatbots, they can independently make decisions, take actions, and interact with different agents. Agentic AI is really moving into a multi-model, a multi-modality, and multi-agent world. So that's the key out, the three multi-model, multi-modality, and multi-agent. So let me provide you with a quick example of what that looks like from a business process perspective. So here we have an agent, it's a bank, and you can actually see that, hey, a customer uploads an invoice, a bill. The AI agent is able to understand and extract data from the uploaded document. And then it would be able to help the user make payments, right, based on the payment method of choice. And also, it's because you already know who the end user or the customer is, and you have these information all kind of within the AI agent's capability, right? So if we look at a very high level architecture of how that solution was built, you'll see that it's actually not one agent, it's actually multiple agents interacting with each other. They can call existing business APIs to get the information or send the command that's needed. And if you're interested in learning more about these use cases, there's lots of sample codes that are available in our GitHub repo. And please go check it out and have fun with these samples. So with Azure AI Agent Service, organizations can now create custom conversational agents that leverage domain-specific knowledge and integrate seamlessly with your enterprise data. These services, they provide tools to securely ground the AI agent's output with enterprise knowledge to ensure that they're accurate and they're contextually aware. And all these capabilities have been utilized are under the security compliance requirements of your IT, of your security organization. And these are really needed to ensure that your AI development does not go rogue. Which brings us to the risk of AI. With the explosion of AI, a lot of organizations are trying to get a handle on how their employees are using these AI agents. And the challenge is the classic case of you can't manage what you don't monitor. We can't prevent improper use of AI if we don't know who it is and who's using what. But the risk of doing nothing is that your business data can end up in the wrong hands. So 80% of the leaders that in this survey, they cited sensitive data leakage is a primary concern. In order to achieve safe and effective use of AI, there needs to be the ability to discover the use of AI and protect users from sharing sensitive data. And then secondly, when you're building AI applications, there's new risks that are coming. For example, you are now likely to get attacked through prompt injection. So 88% of our organization are concerned, right, about these prompt injection attacks. So without proper protections, your app might be manipulated and exposing confidential data. And lastly, 55% of people surveyed are seeking guidance into how AI can be regulated. It has to be in the right controls to help businesses, organizations comply with their regulations. And more importantly, the platform needs to provide guidance to simplify the process of complying with these regulations. Which brings us to the capability of trustworthy AI. A cautionary tale from Microsoft in the past is in 2016. Microsoft, we actually launched a chatbot called Tay on Twitter. So Tay was designed to engage, interact in casual conversations and learn from the interaction with the users. However, within 16 hours, Microsoft, we have to take it down because it started generating offensive tweets because someone's attacking, right, the bot. So we have to take it offline. We have to formally apologize for this. So that incident really underscores the need for robust content safety measures, especially when you have to account for the non-deterministic natures of these Gen I models. So AI Foundry also includes content safety tools to help you monitor and filter AI-generated content. These tools can detect and block inappropriate or harmful content, ensuring that your AI applications are adhering to your ethical standards. And on top of that, it integrates responsible AI practices such as prompt shields, groundedness detection to prevent issues like prompt injection attacks and hallucination in model outputs. So these safeguards are really needed to make sure that you're maintaining the integrity and the trustworthiness of your AI solution. Finally, when I work with a lot of enterprise customers, what they're really concerned about is really regulatory compliance standards that they need to meet. So AI Foundry provides that enterprise-grade service to ensure that AI projects are successful, they're scalable, and they meet the compliance needs of the organization. Things like providing private endpoint to allow for every single traffic, every single packet to flow through your private network. Another example is having managed identity integration into all the AI services so that you're not sharing tokens to prevent unwanted data exfiltration. And then there are many more. So these are part of our enterprise promises. And because Azure Foundry, AI Foundry sits under the Azure platform, so all the guardrails that we have in place from an Azure platform standpoint, they all apply to Azure AI Foundry. So in conclusion, Microsoft, we provide powerful platform that equip businesses with tools, resources for both business users and AI machine learning developers to use and build innovative and responsible AI solutions. Especially AI Foundries for the pro audience, it offers a diverse catalog of options, models. It offers you the ability to quickly build and assemble your agentic AI capability. It provides content safety tools and enterprise-grade support. It is really designed to help you succeed in your AI endeavor. So at this moment, I do want to thank you for your attention. I'm really excited about how Microsoft AI can really help drive innovation and transformation. If you have any questions or any thing that you'd like to discuss further, please feel free to leave them into the chat window. With that, I will pass it over to our next speaker from NVIDIA.
All right. So hi, thank you for joining us. So I'm Chris Jones. I lead cybersecurity AI business development here at NVIDIA. And I'm going to talk to you today about, you saw all of the great examples where Hal shared about how the explosion of use in the enterprise world around AI And I'm going to talk to you a moment about how NVIDIA is utilizing AI to provide, real-time threat detection and intrusion prediction as well. So before I go through that, let's talk just a little bit about NVIDIA and AI. So NVIDIA has been working with AI to transform a large number of workloads across virtually every industry, from gaming to healthcare to through transportation, and of course, in cybersecurity, right? We're making a profound impact on society with these AI developments. And as a part of that, we are a platform company, an accelerated computing platform company. And we provide a rich set of AI frameworks, again, across all of these various verticals you see here before you. So Riva, providing a lot of speech to text, text to audio capabilities. We've got Nemo for developing generative AI models. Nemo guardrails will help with some of what Hal was talking about through some of the challenges right around AI and protecting the outputs. Merlin for recommender systems in kind of the retail space. Metropolis across a great many smart cities, smart locations type workloads. Drive for autonomous vehicles. And of course, Morpheus for cybersecurity workloads. So let's explore just a little bit about kind of what are the challenges, right, facing the modern enterprise, right? We're seeing an explosion of identity attacks, right? So these identity-based attacks are absolutely on the rise, with the most common and most expensive attack vector, of course, being these phishing type workloads, right? The social engineering piece. And it's no secret, right, that these attackers are also utilizing AI to craft more sophisticated, more convincing messages, right? To deploy these bots and get around some of the automated defenses, the automated traditional defenses were designed to spot this, suspicious behavior. We're seeing application proliferation. So there's just so many more tools that are being utilized, right, to go drive productivity in the enterprise space. We're seeing an endpoint expansion, right? A growing number of connected devices. And as those grow, it introduces additional security risks, right, due to increased in the attack surface. You see a large explosion in both data growth as well as a surge in the models that are being utilized, right, to gain insights on said data. And then, of course, there are a massive number of tools out there to integrate and manage, across all of these, kind of security vectors. So NVIDIA is working to help secure the modern data center by addressing these challenges, right? So first, providing 100% data visibility so that we can enable automated real-time threat detection at scale utilizing NVIDIA Morpheus. It's a GPU accelerated SDK. We also provide zero trust security framework that is based around NVIDIA Bluefield DPUs for that microsegmentation workload. We've got converged accelerators containing a mix of DPUs and GPUs, and of course our DOCA SDK, which is the programming language for the DPU. We also are providing secure data and models utilizing NVIDIA confidential computing. So you may be familiar with protection of data at rest, protection of data in motion and transit. Well, this is effectively providing those same level of protections for the data under compute within the GPU resource. We are also working to increase the efficiency and capabilities of security analysts utilizing generative AI. At its core, that's really what this is all about. You can see from a lot of the industry analysts will cite here that data center traffic, of course, continues to expand, driven by an explosion in the amount of data that's transiting across the network, right? So it's anticipated that there are going to be trillions of devices globally embedded with sensors connected to the internet. There's more than 5 billion internet users globally, right? And according to IDC, that the data is growing exponentially, still growing exponentially every year. So the world will have generated 394 zettabytes of data by 2028, right? That equates to an average of over 600 exabytes of data generated each and every day. right? So this explosion of data has increased the security risk. And the fact that cybersecurity attacks have increased by 75% between 2023 and 2024 alone. And this increase in attacks is certainly not without consequence, right? So according to IBM Security's 2024 cost of a breach report, the average cost of a breach was in excess of $4.8 million. And on average, it took 277 days to identify and contain a breach, right? It's worth noting here that in 2024 alone, the total cost of cybercrime exceeded $10 trillion globally. So what are we doing? What's NVIDIA's role in this, right? At its core, again, we are an accelerated computing company. And at the core of cybersecurity, it's a data problem, right? It's a data problem because there's too much data. There's too many different kinds of data, right? The data heterogeneity. It's coming in too fast, right? So these high velocity streams of heterogeneous data can easily overwhelm traditional collection mechanisms, right? To the point that most enterprises have to limit the amount of data that they capture and analyze. So how are we expected to defend against attacks with critical data missing, right? So if we look at cybersecurity as a data problem, there's no reason why we can't and shouldn't leverage AI for cybersecurity in the same way we've automated and improved efficiencies around many other domains like we already have. So I will say that AI is no longer optional to address cybersecurity challenges. So in fact, according to IDC, AI adoption and sales within cybersecurity platforms is expected to more than double, right, by 2028 from the 2025 figure. I'm seeing this firsthand, right? We're seeing an explosion in the use of AI for cybersecurity workloads. And using AI is going to help reduce costs and the time to defect. Time to detect. So IBM Security saw that the average cost savings associated with those that are utilizing AI for prevention in 2024, the average cost savings was in excess of $2.2 million on average. Again, versus the 4.8, right, that we talked about in terms of the average breach cost. And it also showed that they were over 30% faster time to detect these threats. So the key here, and you can see again here. So this is showing, this is according to IBM and Verizon data breach reports. AI has reduced the mean time to detect and resolve by 74 days, but this is still not sufficient, right? So NVIDIA has developed toolkits that have shown the ability to even shrink the detection and response time to hours or within minutes. So this is where we are introducing, again, NVIDIA Morpheus. These are just a few use cases that are built to help our cybersecurity developers, put these AI methods to use. So first, we'll talk about anomaly detection or digital fingerprinting, right? This is giving the ability to analyze data behaviors across every system, every user within a given domain, to quickly identify breaches in those behaviors and call that out for additional review. Vulnerability analysis. So this would be, your CVE kind of assessments. Automated detection of sensitive information so that you can ensure that we don't want any leaked credentials. We don't want, in the example that Hal was giving over a transaction, we don't want any leaked credit card numbers or personally identifiable information, or information even about potentially a sensitive, enterprise acquisition that may be being discussed within someone's network. There's ransomware, very powerful ransomware detection. There's phishing detection, right? Really assessing how do we protect against these more sophisticated social engineering attacks where they're utilizing generative AI to try and bypass these traditional methods. And then, of course, identity fraud. So there's a number of use cases here. And again, these use cases serve merely as a starting point, right? Cybersecurity developers using Morpheus are not limited by these pre-built use cases by any stretch of the imagination, right? Morpheus really enables developers to move more quickly, build their own customized use cases from these as the example. So again, those same workloads here are listed above. I really want to focus on the stuff that is below here in the green boxes. All of these use cases are built and supported through NVIDIA AI Enterprise. NVIDIA AI Enterprise, if you're not familiar, is a suite of AI software tools that are backed with enterprise support. In this case, we're leveraging the Morpheus SDK frameworks. We're utilizing NVIDIA NIMs, again, NVIDIA Inference Microservices, as Hal mentioned, right? NIM is really intended to help. We are providing a containerized payload where we've already done the vulnerability assessments of the model. We are responsible for ongoing patching of said vulnerabilities. We are doing the fine-tuning and optimization around a suite of GPUs so that these devices can be up and running within just a few minutes. NEMO, as well as AI blueprints to help expedite. All right. The other thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned is, again, the one thing that is true about AI, right, is it is a constant pace of continued innovations, right? Continued improvements and enhancements. And what we announced at our GTC last month, again, GTC is the largest AI developer conference in the world. It is our annual NVIDIA developer conference. We introduced NVIDIA Agent IQ. And so Agent IQ is a tool that is really there to help accelerate AI agents and streamline the agentic workflow optimization around them. So let's talk for just a moment about why agentic AI is going to be such a critical evolution for the continued increase in value of artificial intelligence, but specifically as well here in the cybersecurity space. At the end of the day, you've seen the pace at which these attacks are coming in, and this is not something that we can just simply throw security analysts at, right? More and more security analysts. This is entirely about augmenting the world's workforces. In cybersecurity, it's all about helping to up-level the security analyst and offload some of the more labor-intensive and time-consuming tasks. So when you look at, for example, right, the overwhelming alert volume, it's really about scaling that through automation. Let the agent do some assessments to go identify which alerts are most critical and need to be actioned. It is about distilling, this institutional knowledge and domain expertise, right, into these agentic systems to, again, augment your existing workforces. It's about enabling, some of the labor-intensive context, data retrieval type activities that Hal mentioned, right? Allowing these agents to go retrieve that context automatically. And then the last part here is around some of the most time-consuming tasks are the documentation efforts. And that's really the output of agentic AI is that documentation. So with that, I'm going to conclude there, and I'm going to pass the presentation over to Fernando, who is going to walk us through how Trend has taken a lot of these tools and built these in to go build a very comprehensive protection for not only AI infrastructure, but AI workflows and AI development as well.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Hal. That was really good to see like the innovation coming from Microsoft and also how you can build using all the elements inside the AI infrastructure and AI enterprise from NVIDIA. And one of the highlights that was interesting for me from Chris, it's like the amount of like increasing in percent of the cybersecurity, right? With that in mind, I want to introduce to you all securing AI power innovation and how Trend has been partnering with Microsoft and NVIDIA to bring like even more innovation on the cybersecurity aspect to help organizations and large enterprise, small and medium enterprise to help on their innovation around AI stack, but also the utilization of AI. My name is Fernando Cardozo, Vice President for Product Management for AI and Cloud Security. And I will start with like a little details on the biggest security concerns related with AI, right? The first one that we are seeing more and more in the market, it is the deep fake and the next generation phishing. According to some researches from World Economy Forum, right? Almost half of the organizations say AI power attacks like those are their primary cybersecurity concerns in 2025. We are seeing increasing of some organizations being affected by deepfake and the new attacks that can be generated using AI on the phishing element too. The second one, it is the, oops. The second one here, it is the risks caused by AI blind spots, right? There's a lot of companies and employees adopting those AI technologies, but the blind spots from those security teams are increasing because they don't know who are using, which tools they are using, if they are being properly protected and following the governance and compliance that is defined by the organization across the different countries, right? And there is like a high risk and potential exposing the organizations to significant business risks in the cybersecurity aspect with the vulnerabilities, but also with potential data leakage or even intellectual property that could occur in some cases on the AI aspect. Data privacy, it's another important element, and the compliance issues, making sure the organizations are following all the compliances, the EU Act on AI, also NIST, PCI DSS, high trust, and many other compliances that are very important for a lot of companies across the organizations. It's important to remember this is all those elements are increasing the risk, but AI innovation is here to stay. And there is no way that we can step back. But the important point here, it is keeping the innovation and also keeping the balance with the risk visibility. You need to have that a mindset on how you are protecting this new tech and understanding those risks of sensitive data exposure, insecurity outputs, extortions that could exist through the usage of a deep fakes, for example, models issues with prompt injection, jailbreaks, model denial of services, hallucinations, misalignment, poisoning. There's many other types of risks that could be involving this new infrastructure, right? And when you think also, it's the management part, right? Like how you are doing the policy violations and policy enforcement for the usage of those AI technologies, shadow AIs that could be used by specifically employees or the organizations that should not be used because have been not validated, or making sure that security elements have been protecting those infrastructure, and so many other things. And when you think about those risks elements, you should also think on the AI attack surface in action, right? To bring this new AI based risks to life, let's walk in through to a simple scenario. First one, a user makes a request to an AI assistant. The AI assistant makes a request to the APIs, and then the AI agent routes the request based on the questions and asks those to a cloud-based LLM, such OpenAI, Palm 2, answer the questions, not possible, and they need to maybe get the informations with the internal LLMs because there is a privacy request and some others. The internal LLM and the tooling, there is a potential of a data leakage because there is no protection of the prompts. Could be one of the examples, right? Like they are being requesting information that should be validated by the prompt or some kind of a guardrails aspect before they actually give that information to some users. How you would identify if that specific user have access to the business intelligence that they are requesting, right? Making sure that the RBAC and also the users that are requesting specific information, they have access for that data, right? There's other elements like potential new vulnerabilities on the LLMs or the AI infrastructure. There is other informations or regulations with GDPR and HIPAA that sometimes you need to make sure. Validating if the code or the snip code that like developers are putting in those prompts are being validated and check it. There's like no intellectual property by your organization on those prompts. There's many other things, but just one example here on the AI attack surface. And there's like one paper that I can share later about like some of like good ways and good methodologies for you to think on building AI infrastructure and the AI stack with the RAG and the different like a database factory. And I recommended also Security for AI blueprint, like how you should be thinking about like protecting your AI infrastructure or your AI stack in the different like layers. The first one, it is securing your data, like you're making sure you are validating the data before the actual training from those models. A good example of like the AI models could be like using NIMs as an inference, right? Or as part of your technology. Those technologies can be running in the Azure infrastructure using, for example, Azure Kubernetes services. And also bringing the information about like the potential security risks on the AI infrastructure running in Azure, AWS, and any other cloud provider, but also protecting that layer that you have it depending where you are running those infrastructure. As the users they will access the infrastructure that you are building for AI, it would be important to have like this element of like a guardrails that can control all the prompts to those AI applications for your internal AI infrastructure, but also for your external SaaS applications that you may use. Could like be cloud, Copilot, could be OpenAI or ChatGPT. All those different elements, how you can protect those prompts to make sure there is no prompt injection or data leakage or specifically intellectual property that could be data evasion or data leakage from the organization. When you think about the users too, there is one important element that we are seeing more and more as our threat research detect new attacks methodologies. It's the deepfake that I mentioned, having the deepfake detection capability on those endpoints, and also ability to identify any malicious like a malware or some kind of like a infection that could occur in the machine that they try to manipulate configuration files on the local AI applications. That's another important point that we are seeing based in the threat research. And the last layer, it is network IDS and IPS. As you are investing and building those infrastructure, having a way to protect zero-day exploits against specific vulnerabilities that can be detected in the models and AI infrastructure that we're using, it is really, really critical. When you think about like this AI power platform, two important things that we have been investing heavily. The first one, it is what we call AI for security, enabling organizations to enhance their cybersecurity and transform cybersecurity operations with AI. What that means, it is basically utilizing AI to help empower the platform, to help SOC operations, cloud security teams, and the different like security teams in the organizations to increase the operational level, but also minimizing the overburn with like the multiple events and the multiple findings and the risks, basically creating a better approach of like a risk prioritization and bringing the proactive approach for the organization as they can bring that information to the platform. When we show this aspect here, there's two use cases in this architecture. The first one on the right, it is allowing customers to have our own cybersecurity platform inside their infrastructure. What do I mean with that? It is basically allowing customers to have a private and sovereign cloud with the Vision One platform where they can run NIMS technologies and NVIDIA GPUs to run our local generative AI, but also our own LLM cybersecurity infrastructure to help organizations with the air gap and the private infrastructure that they need. This is all built out with the help with NVIDIA, right? The second part, it is helping protecting the NIMs that customers are using more and more, right? Like And underlining that, you have like Azure AKS and running on the public infrastructure with Azure. But as Hal was mentioning, right, like you have like a lot of different like NIMs that you can select and you start running right away. But how you are protecting that, like having capabilities like container security, monitoring all the runtime, also monitoring the vulnerability, visibility, and the additional elements, it is super important, right? For you to have like a bigger visibility what is going on those clusters with microservices from applications, but also from the models using NIMs as one example. The second methodology here that we have been using NVIDIA to accelerate our AI adoptions and in AI enhancements under the platform, right? It is through the usage of like Morpheus, as Chris was mentioning, right? Morpheus can help in many different use cases, and we use Morpheus in our case to enhance the anomaly detections with the generative AI. With like all this huge amount of data that we can collect, it is helping us to accelerate the threat detection and operations while reducing the human effort. It is basically applying Morpheus on top of that data and helping organizations to generate detection models based on the details that we are collecting, right? This example here, it is using Microsoft Entra data and applying Morpheus to detect any anomalies that our threat research never saw before, right? It could be a new methodology of attacks that we hackers or the bad actors are using across the globe as one example. Those are like some of the examples how we are using AI inside the platform. And there's many other things that we do too, but like good at two examples that we are using NVIDIA to empower our platform and bringing a better operational process for customers in the cybersecurity space. The second important point it is securing for AI, right? Enabling organizations to secure their AI journey and protect against AI-related attacks. And what I try to do to help organizations here, it is creating this kind of like a mapping matrix based in blueprint, where you can see the different layers of protection that you should have, the security challenge that we see from organizations that they are bringing to us, as one example, like a data, sensitive information blind spot, or infrastructure, security risks in AI models, deployment, and resources and exhaustion attacks that could occur, right? There's many other pieces here that we try to highlight it. And also there is a full white paper that we can share with you all about like those details on the security challenge. But then you move to what we call security controls. Security controls could be a data security, could be protecting your CI/CD pipeline, and also monitoring the runtime protection for containers. There's a lot of elements. And one of the interesting things here that we are helping organizations, it is with all those different elements, we can help with like one single platform. That is the Trend Vision One. All those different elements can be enabled and be very, very flexible for each customer. They can just choose the container security elements to protect those NIMs. They can use just like the network IDS and IPS if they want to protect against those vulnerabilities. There is a lot of flexibility. One example that I try to bring here for customers, it is the secure your AI model. If you're using Azure, for example, you have those different applications, and you are using Azure Kubernetes, the first layer for the front end or the public subnet access, and then there's probably some processing that will be connecting with the second layer with the private subnet, and the private subnet it is with Azure Kubernetes running some AI technologies from NVIDIA as one example. But how you can bring in the full visibility and uncover vulnerabilities, malwares, and compliance violations within those containers, right? Having that full visibility of the potential risks with like a potential secrets that could be forgotten inside the containers, it's really, really important. You say like, oh, this is like never happens, right? More and more we see those basic security problems happening more often than before, right? That's why we always highlight that it's super important for you to validate vulnerabilities, secrets, malwares, and all those different like risks involving those microservices and the AI infrastructure before you put that in production. Okay, that's just one example that we bring it. And I mentioned as before, all that can be utilized today by customers through the Trend Vision One platform. It's an AI-powered enterprise cybersecurity platform that can help customers to empower and accelerate their adoption of AI with like a full stack protection for the different like layers that they have. And one last important point here, right? That is proactive security starts here. It's through the usage of like AI technology embedded in the cybersecurity platform. Our main mission here, it is imagine with AI technologies from Microsoft, from NVIDIA, and security with the Trend Micro platform. The elements here of like embedding cybersecurity in the early stage of like your AI infrastructure is super, super important. Don't think cybersecurity only in the end when you are putting in production. Having the ability to bring that information early in the stage is super important for the companies. Also, innovate boldly and responsible. Just ensure that you are following the security compliances, the trust, and the different like elements that your organization needs to have it as a full visibility for the risk management before putting that in production. But keep innovating because AI is the future and we all know that, okay? Thank you so much. As I mentioned, here's the paper that I was talking about, the Security for AI blueprint that you can download it and see more details based in the diagram that I show. But I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for participating today. Thank you so much, Chris Jones and Hao Lu, for also presenting and bringing like all this insightful information from Microsoft and from NVIDIA. I don't know if there is any question that we should try to cover here, but if you let me try to open the chat here. The Q&A. I tried to also cover some of the Q&A questions that I saw before.
And there is a
my
great question that,
talk.
Fernando, I think you're probably best suited to answer here.
Okay, yeah, I saw one question. How can we increase cybersecurity in large companies using artificial intelligence, right? I think one of the important things that is increasing cybersecurity, it is thinking those different elements of protection. It's something that I have been talking with a lot of large companies, and they're building and using some of like the security for AI blueprints that we created for themselves to create their own blueprints, right? They are starting thinking how they can protect the different like layers and how they can basically give to their developers steps by steps on how they should be thinking about the security when they are building those AI applications from the scratch. I hope that answered your question. Okay. I think we answer all the questions in the Q&A. I don't know if there is any questions on the chat, but
Yeah,
looks
I
like
think
there is
this
no,
is-
right?
Yeah, I think this is good. And I just want to post here just a way to communicate after the webinar. So let me type in one of the emails that you can use. I'm just posting for everyone here in the chat. If you have any further questions or need anything, just email us on this partnersupport@trendmicro.com. All right. All right, so I
Stop
guess,
sharing.
yeah, so I guess we are about time. Thanks everyone, and thanks to our speaker, Hao, Chris, and Fernando. It has been a great session. Thanks for your time. All
Thank
right.
you very much, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.